Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here. It is Thursday. We're going to be running with scissors, and I have all sorts of new people joining today. Guys, we are like running high off of last week's Card Maker Success Summit. And it was an amazing time. If you were there, I hope you really enjoyed all of the inspiration and the live streams and all. I mean, it was like 4 days of jam-packed amazingness. And the energy was really crazy, and we just had a really great time. And I've got tons of new subscribers. So thank you to everyone that subscribed as a part of the Card Maker Success Summit. We had such a great time. Yeah, so I'm seeing a ton of you joining in on the chat, so thank you. And if you're lurking, that's a-okay. We'd love for you to say hello and tell us where you're from. As you can see, we are all around the world. We've got some of our old-time crafters. We've got Paula and Cece and Anne and Trisha and all the gang that's been here for forever almost. I mean, we are on episode 90 something, and it's crazy. I can't believe it. I've been doing this for almost 100 episodes, almost every week for the last almost 2 years. So it's been really crazy. Cece, I think it's your phone. I think I look okay. Oh, anyway, things are crazy, right? The world is crazy right now. So, just a moment to think about Ukraine and hope that everything comes to a swift resolution there. Things are crazy with the weather. We've got cold weather, hot weather. It was so warm this weekend that people were golfing, and now it's so cold that it's snowing again. I mean, it's crazy. But you know what's not crazy? Crafting. So let's get to it. So if you are new here, we always have a little bit of announcements at the beginning, and then we go into our crafting. I try to keep the announcements pretty quick so that way we can get to it. Oh, and you know what I totally forgot? I don't know if I put the link to the stamp set. Oh, I bet you it is down there because it's still February. Okay, so there's been a little change. I decided to flip-flop my months for, and this is wrong. Stand by, people. I need to change my announcements. Because we have new announcements. Announcements. Not there. Here. Those announcements. Hey, those are the right announcements. Fabulous. Okay, so hey, listen. I flip-flopped March and April. So originally we were going to do a single stamp set all the month of March, and I even showed a preview it a few weeks ago. But I flipped that to April because I want to do a challenge, and I wanted anyone new to have an opportunity to get the stamp set. And let me grab it real quick. Yeah. Okay. So March, then, we're going to be doing another theme, and the theme is paste, powder, and paint. So we're going to be using distress paints, we're going to be using acrylic paints, we're going to be using embossing powders, we're going to be using paper glaze and other kinds of pastes, mediums, with stencils, all sorts of things. So that is going to be next month, and it's also going to, we're going to use one of the dies that I'm going to show you today, the advanced sneak peek of the Altenew dies coming out. And then in April, we're going to do a stamp focus. So when I do a stamp focus month, I use the same core stamp set all month. And that stamp set is this stamp set. So this is April now. So this was going to be next month, but now it's April. Okay, so it's this stamp set from Picket Fence. Okay, it's called Walk, Crawl, or Run. And here's a really cool card that I'm going to make. All right, so just a little preview. So grab the stamp set, and we're going to do a little challenge all month with that stamp set. Because, sometimes you get stuff and you're like, I only used it for one card. or you get stuff and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. So I wanted to focus on one stamp set and show you all sorts of things you can make. And then the challenge will be for you to create something original as well. So you can case the project, or you can be inspired by it and create something original as well to help everyone figure out all sorts of things that they can do with that one single stamp set. All right, so the link for that stamp set is down in the description below. All right, so I always put the description, all the stuff that we're using for today. Okay, those are affiliate links, which means that if you click on a link and you go shopping, I might get a commission. It's always at no additional cost to you. It's an easy way to support crafters here on YouTube and on blogs and all that, is to use our affiliate links. Okay, so that's an easy way to help support us. You can also support me directly by using the link to the tip jar. That's just going to take you to PayPal, where you can give me a tip, you know, like a cup of coffee, whatever you feel inclined to do. Of course, you don't have to, but I do always appreciate it. I'm totally humbled every time I get a tip in the tip jar. So that we talked about the themes for March and April. The technique freebie is out there. If you haven't gotten it yet, if you weren't a part of the summit or you didn't get it through the summit, you can go to technique freebie on my website. So NicoleWattCreates.com/technique freebie, and that will get you to the freebie. And then, of course, I always post crafty sales. Scrapbook.com has been crazy with sales lately. Scrapbookpal.com has been crazy with sales. So check out the crafty sales page. I always try to post as many sales as I know about on that page. Bookmark it because it's always updated. All right. So, hey, hello to all of these new subscribers. I can't list them all here because my system like stops keeping track. Like, it only keeps the last 25. In the last week, I've gotten over 100 new subscribers. So thank you guys. It is so amazing to have all these new crafters find out about me. So I'm so glad to have you all here. Check out that list. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going and going. Oh my gosh, amazing. So thank you to my most recent 25. And if you just subscribe today, you might show up in next week's list. Or you might not if I get even more subscribers. I mean, I had 10 new subscribers just today. It was crazy. All right, so hey, let's talk about sneak peeks. So hey, glad to see everybody in the chat. If you're new here, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for chiming in and saying hello. All right, so tomorrow, Altenew is coming out with a die, supplemental die release, so standalone dies. And I wanted to show you the 3 sets that I got. We're going to use 2 of them today. So I wanted to show you 3 sets. So this one, Wispy Feathers. So awesome. So it's 2 different feathers with a background and a cover piece. And we're going to use this one next week now. And you're going to love the projects with this. It's really, really cool. So that is it. And these dies are huge. So if I put it on my thing here, so look at this is an A2 size card, this space here. So look, it goes to the top to the bottom of an A2 size card. They're huge. All right. So we'll use these next week. I'm going to set these aside. So this is Wispy Feathers. You will see this tomorrow in the release. All right. So 2 that I'm going to use today. I'm going to try to do I'm going to try to do 2 stamps, 2 cards today. So we'll see. So this is Swirly Elements. It does all this one piece. So it's just one single die, and it does this really cool swirly thing in here. All right. So we're going to pair this up with a couple of different dies to create a really cool card. And then the other one is these Starlight dies. So there are more dies coming out in the collection, but I only got these 3 because I only committed to doing like 2 projects maybe, or 1 project. I can't remember. So this is the Starlight die. So it does not only the detail piece, which it does cut out all the way around, but there's also a backer. All right. And so the complicated thing about this one, which you'll see as we work on it, is that it definitely has a correct way to nest the 2 together. So you can't, if you turn it less than 90 degrees, that it's not going to quite match up, right? So anyway, I guess you could do it that way. It would just look a little different. All right. So anyway, we're going to use both of these today. Yay. All right. Moving to the hands. And yes, I did get your review for the technique library. So yeah, the technique library is open. If you've been checking out the techniques that I post here every Tuesday, the technique library is ahead by quite a few months, and they get exclusive content like the technique library, the sheets for your binder. That's the only place you can get them. So our two projects today. This one you will see on the release tomorrow. So we're going to do this one. All right, so everything that we did this month was all strictly die cuts, no stamping, although this one has a little bit of painting in it. All right, and then our other project, I have these like separated so that I don't mess up my pre-cut paper. So here's the other one, so Soar. So I mixed this with a couple of other die sets, so the Feathered Friends die set and then the Soar die set, to create a really cool project here. And I did a riff on this that I sent to a friend recently, and he really loved it. All right, so let's get started. All right, so again, you know, if you're new here, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to show you how to make these cards. You can follow along, or you can just chill out and chat, ask questions along the way, and then craft later with the replay. Go back and, you know, replay this and craft along, or do something that you are inspired by, whatever it is that I create today, and then tag me on Instagram at Nicole Creates. I'd love to see how you're inspired by today's projects. Okay, so we're going to use the Starlight die. But before we can, we have to do a little bit of, painting. So I have a piece of watercolor cardstock here. And I have, oh, I love these so much. These are my favorites. The metallic watercolors by Altenew. So love these. You can do, okay, so we can do this one in any color. I did the sample in aquamarine, and then I've got a piece of this green to cut out with later, but we could do a different color. Let's do like a really cool contrast. So orange and green, like I love the way they look together. So let's do copper and green for this sample. Okay, so you can get some ideas here. I'm always riffing on what it is that I made, because I really very rarely make the same card twice unless I'm doing Christmas cards. All right, so I'm going to go into copper, and I didn't pull out my little water dropper. I'm just coming straight from my container here. All right, so I'm just going to do like an easy swish on here. So just an easy kind of thing like this. All right, and so the way that we're going to get different kind of layers on here is to actually dry this. I forgot to grab my heat tool, so I had to go grab it. All right, so let's heat this up real quick. All right, so that's good enough. And I'm going to do another layer. All right. So this is going to add some extra interest because it's going to darken up in certain areas, but I'm not going to put it everywhere. All right, so that's good enough. All right, so that's nice and coppery. Yum. I love copper. Copper is one of my favorites. All right, and then I want to add some splatter on here. So I'm going to add aquamarine splatter. So let's let that soak up for just a second while I dry this. All right, it's really quick to dry, right? So I'm going to load up my brush with some aquamarine here, and I'm just going to splatter that. So we are going to see it, just maybe not as much as you think, because we're going to be die cutting. All right. All right, so adding the green on here, and actually what I'm going to do, all right. So if you have problems with splatter, if they always end up really big, grab yourself a smaller brush. Okay, so a smaller brush is going to give you smaller splatter. All right, so like I said, if you have problems with splatter, get a smaller brush. All right. And that's all we need. Okay. So see, super easy to just create a really cool background. So Lee wants to know, what's the name of the company with sales? Okay, so Lee, there, I know scrapbook.com is having a sale. Scrapbookpal.com is having a sale. Who else did I see with sales this week? I can't remember. I always update sales at NicoleWattCreates.com/crafty sales. The link I think is down in the description. Go check it out. Bookmark it. I'm always updating. All right, so I heated up the back of this because that helps to make the paper go flat again. All right, so just kind of heats up the fibers and helps it to go flat. So that's it, like a super simple, easy, fun, metallic watercolor background. All right. Before we go any further, I'm going to add a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet on here. And that is going to help us put everything onto the card much simpler. So much more easily, actually, I should say. So I always just kind of flip open part of the double-sided adhesive sheet, and I always cut it slightly smaller than the piece that I'm going to put it on. Right, so you see how I have like a nice little border around there? And then I can just pull, it comes off, and I rub this on. I don't have any air bubbles. And then when I go to die cut this, it's going to have the double-sided adhesive on there. It's going to be perfect. Okay, so here's the cool thing about this die set. So this is really what's going to cut out of this die. All right. And so let's see, how did I pop it on here? So for my original project, I put it like so. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. That's exactly what I was thinking, that the copper is oxidizing with the teal, right? So very cool. Okay, so this is going to go on like so, right? And then I can put the border around it to kind of cut out the whole shape. All right. Oh, so Ruth has a great question. She clicked on the link for the project PDF. The post doesn't go live. I think today. Oh, I changed it. I'm pretty sure I changed it. So the post will go live at the top of the hour. And the only reason I do that is because just in case something funky happens with the video here, that gives me a minute to change the link. So you will be able to get the project PDF soon, like in 45 minutes. So click the button in a little bit. And if you're on my mailing list, you will get an email tomorrow that will take you to the blog post where you can grab it if you forget. All right, so I'm gonna just pop this on here like so. Now I put this up a little bit higher because I know I'm gonna put that sentiment down below, and I want to leave enough space for that. All right, so that's how this is gonna go through. And it is going to cut this into 2 pieces, but we'll be able to put it back together, no problem. All right, so my preferred die cutting machine is the Gemini Junior, and I use the scrapbook.com magic mat. So I do the Gemini Junior acrylic mat, my magic mat, my die cutting pieces, and then the other acrylic mat. All right, so this is going to go through my Gemini. And it's off screen. It's right next to me. All right. And so that, let's see, did it cut through enough? Yes, it did. Okay. So it did not cut through the backing, and this is for the double-sided adhesive, but I'm hoping that it cut through everything else enough that we don't have to worry about it. I could have used a shim just to make sure, but I didn't. So we'll see what happens. So if you wanted to, you could cut out another background piece like so, and you would be able to, like, if what I did on this one is I put this down as a template, and then I was able to paper piece in those extra pieces. So you could end up with a 2-for-1, all right, which is kind of nice, right? You can do that. So what I can attempt to do here is kind of the same as soon as I pull this back. So let's do that. I'm going to grab card base is like right in front of me. Okay, so here's my card base, just a plain old A2 side fold card base, nothing special. All right, and actually I can use this as a template to help make sure I get things in place. So like I said, this is going to actually come apart because the piece that I cut is 4 inches wide, and that is just as wide as from the points here. Okay, so on my first piece, I'm going to pop this guy down. And I know I have it in the right place because I have even spacing all the way around. All right, and then I can take my sample here and just make sure that that's all fitting. All right, so it's always good to cut out. Now you don't have to cut out this whole thing. All you have to do is cut out this piece to give yourself a template to fit in there. But because I had this, I would just use it. All right, and then to release. And here comes the bottom. All right, so again, because I've got my little template in place, just need to match it up. And this looks really pretty too. Isn't that pretty? All right, so now I can pull this out. And that's perfectly aligned all the way around. Got a perfect space in here. All right. Now, the magic is if you can get the shape out without the center pieces, but that's not going to happen this time. So we're just going to have to do it this way. You know what, guys? I think, so it cut through, but it didn't cut through as intensely as I needed it to. So I am going to have to run it through my die cut machine again. This happens, right? You know, like this is live crafting. Holy moly. I only need this piece, and I just need to match it up. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on my backing paper so that it doesn't stick to anything else, right? Okay, and I've got my die. So the die like fits right back into this space. So don't have to worry about that. So I have to use a shim, all right? So it just has to happen. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. Sometimes you just have to get the right sandwich. So what I need to do is just add a shim on top of this to give it just slightly more pressure. It could be a piece of paper. I have some Mylar shims that were from an old machine. So like a Mylar shim like this can work, like, or a piece of window sheet, all sorts of things. All right, so I can just do that and put my piece back on top and run it through. All right, I'm sure it worked this time. And yeah, so you can see like where it started cutting through this. That's a good sign. All right. See, it happens to everybody. You just don't see it in some of our videos because we edit that part out. And it makes it look perfect. All right. So see, now it's like, oh, I can release all these extra little pieces. And it kind of wants to. So if you wanted to, you could set up a little, the secondary part and add all these to it. I might just kind of toss them over here loosely and do that later. I like paper piecing like that, but boy, does it take a long time. So usually I'm just like, no. All right. Oh, hey, speaking of preferences, I do have a poll in the chat. So if you see it, it might be kind of reduced in size up at the top there. And it's, the question was, when was the last time you sent a card? And the options were this week, this month, the last holiday, or you're supposed to send them, which I thought was kind of funny. And looks like we've got some answers going on in there. So if you haven't hit the poll yet, hit the poll. It'd be lovely to know how often, or the last time you sent a card. I sent a card. I sent a whole bunch of cards out for Valentine's Day. I sent a whole bunch of card packs to some girlfriends so that they'd have cards to send themselves. And then I have a friend who is getting his acting career off the ground, and he's been in all sorts of really great things, even some Disney Star Wars stuff coming up, which is really cool. And he just recently got cast for a commercial, and I was like, oh, I'm sending you a card. So I sent him a card. Okay, guys. Pulling these little bits out can really be a pain in the butt, right? So, hey, Sue, I have to ask, what did you do with all of that paper that you dyed? Did you come up with some really cool things? Did you create a treasure book? We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. So I really like using double-sided adhesive, but this is what happens when you use double-sided adhesive. Sometimes the pieces are not very cooperative. But then I don't have to worry about glue mess. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing. It works out one way or the other. And I can still come back. Like, I'll be able to pick these apart and use them later. Oh, so close. 2 more, 3 more. Is this painful to watch? All right. There we go. All right, so there's just a little bit of backing in here from the double-sided adhesive. Oh, that's awesome. So Sue did actually create some stuff with her avocado dyed paper. A really cool process. I watched that video. It was really neat. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, Lisa, everyone has issues with this. It depends on how detailed the die is, right? And if you've got the double-sided adhesive on the back of it, that's gonna make a difference too. So, and the paper that you use and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so there we go. But see, look, it came out and it's beautiful and it was totally worth doing it. Anne says we want to help. Yeah. All right. So here's the cool thing is that like when you go to put this in, you're going to realize like when it's not quite in the right place because your lines aren't going to line up. But this has so many little teeny tiny lines that I thought doing the double-sided adhesive on it was the best choice. Because now everything is going to stick down. Now, it doesn't matter that I didn't get this put back in the right direction. I can tell that I didn't because like the way that the colors are changed a little bit. Like I think these two were supposed to be on the side, but it gives it like a different kind of swirly look. All right, so there you go. Hey, there you go. So Sharon's getting ready to avocado dye some paper. So Sue, can you share that link? Pop it into the chat. It was really awesome. There we go. So get that. All right, so now I can take those die cut pieces and I can put them together to make something like this later. I won't bore you with that. All right. That goes there. Okay, so next part is simple. So I've got a piece of this really beautiful green paper. This is called Rainforest by Lawn Fawn. I really like Lawn Fawn cardstock. And this die set is really great. I use it all the time. It's called Signature Words by Altenew. And I did a congrats card here. But you can do, obviously you could do anything like a hello or thanks. So thanks would look really pretty too. You could do a thanks like right in the center. That would be a really nice, a little bit of a different layout. So let's do that. All right, so again, I've got my double-sided adhesive on the back and these tend to work out a little better with that. So, all right. Oh, so we have everyone's interest peaked. So Lynn wants to know avocado dye. What is this you speak of? So avocado dye is just like walnut dye. Have you ever heard of walnut dye before, where you take walnuts and you actually like boil them to turn it into a dye? Okay, so you see I'm going to use my mini blossom and I've got my shim because this is a super intricate dye. So anyway, avocado dye, you take is it the pits of the avocado? Or is it the skins, or is it both? I can't remember. And you do the same thing. You boil them and then you get a dye that you can put your paper in and dye it. It's really, really pretty. It turns red. It's really a beautiful color. So, Josephine, thank you for letting me know. We'll have to see if I can do auto captions. There will be closed captions on the replay. All right, so super cute. I love this die set. So adorable. The center pieces on mine don't pop out, so those are still green and they're going to stay green. So we could put it there. We could put it off to the side if you want to be kind of traditional. You could still do it off to the side. Or we could put it right in the center, which would be really pretty too. So there we go. Ta-da. All right, got to bling it up. Yes, thanks for posting that one. So this is a new to me tool. It's the We Are Memory Keepers. I call it the pick and stick, but I know it's not. That's not what it's called. But look, it comes apart. Super nice. So you've got the little pokey tool, and then you've got the little other tool here that you can use to grab your gems. All right, and it works decently. All right, so you can either use that, and actually I'm kind of feeling more like it'll be quicker for me to do my good old tweezers. Okay, so I'm going to use my Spellbinders glaze and glue. So I was telling people about hard glue. This is a hard glue, so it dries hard and clear. All right. All right, I hear you, Cindy. I will work on getting captions up on the live stream. Okay, so you can mix and match your colors. This particular gem set is called Sands of Time by Picket. All right, and you can pick through here to get just the color that you want. On my original one, I used just, I used silver ones actually. Oh, from a different set. But you can use any kind of gems. And you can put them wherever you like. So you can, you know, just go for, you know, maybe you just want one in the center and you want to do just a couple. Let's just, I'll do just a small number and you'll see what that looks like compared to the full-on gems that I did on the other one. All right, so this is kind of a traditionally like the way that I like to do gems is to do them in little groups of 3. In a triangle. So 1, 2, 3 in a triangle. And then I just put one in the center as well. So that makes it quick and simple. All right. So there. 2 options with this particular card. Okay, so there we go. Lisa wants to know what the Stream Elements bot is. It's just a little helper that I have that puts out some little reminders as we go along, like to like the video or to, if you're looking for information on the products used today. It's just a little automated helper. All right, so there we go. So we've got this one gorgeous in the green and this one gorgeous in copper. All right, hey, so we're going to do a second card. I don't want those to go too far. Here's our second card. This one is great. Well, they're both great, but this one actually comes together pretty quick. This one will come together faster than the other one. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use the Swirly Elements die. All right, this will be available tomorrow through Altenew. All right, it's fun. It's like a splash of water or anything, really. I just love it. So I kind of used it in my mind. I was thinking about air. So the birds, you know, like soaring through the air and the air propelling it through, right? So really, really pretty that way. All right. So I'm using the Gilded glitter cardstock from Altenew. And I will pop some of these gems in again. And then I also pulled out a couple other stamps and dies. Okay, so the first one is the Soar stamp and die set. And I really like this because it's a mini set. So it's just the mini stamps. Super cute. All right, and then the die. So the die will cut out the bird if you want that little bird. but then you've got just the soar on its own. This does not cut out the words. This word is smaller. So if you want something a little bit more, you can use just the die. And that's what we're going to use, is just the die from that. And then this set is the Feathered Friends die set. And we're going to use our small little feathered friend. Okay. Ooh, all that over there. So the cool thing about this is that this looks like it's popped up a little bit, but it's actually just the extra space from the glitter paper. So the glitter paper from Altenew is fairly thick, and it only comes in this 3-inch width. So I'm going to show you a little trick. Or, I mean, it's not really a trick. It's just nice how it seams together. You don't even have to worry about it. All right. So here's my piece of cardstock that's going to be our little center piece here. And it is 4 by, actually probably 3 3/4. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 5. So it's going to give me a 1/4 inch all the way around. All right, so you see how this guy just fits right on there. This is like the perfect place to put a sentiment, right? So you see how that like fits in there perfectly. It's really, really well thought out. It could be like anything, though. You could put any other kind of sentiment. You could stamp something in there. My original project actually had something stamped on there. But since I'm doing a die-only month, I had to change my plans for today. All right, so that's going to go through there. And my soar, this is a piece of gold mirror paper from Altenew. And again, I've got a double-sided adhesive sheet on the back. So we pop that in there, and it's because I can cut out more than one, right? And then I need one bird in white, and then I'll need to do the bird also in vellum to add a little bit of volume. All right, so I'm going to put my shim and run that through. All right. So we don't normally do 2 cards, but because I thought these ones were kind of simple, I thought we'd be able to handle 2 today. All right. 2. See, this one didn't have any double-sided adhesive on the back, and so it's just like, here, take all of your little pieces. I don't need them. Ta-da! So pretty, right? So again, like you could do the same watercolor thing that we just did. You could definitely do that on this. You could save your pieces and just refit them together. All that good stuff. Yes, CC, fireworks. It totally reminds me of fireworks as well. All right. So that, and our bird, we need a couple more of him, and our sword. All right, so that's good to go. We're done with this. You're done. And so I've got a piece of vellum, and we're going to run that through with our bird 2 more times. All right, so vellum likes the shim. There we go. All right, that's it for our die cutting. That's the great thing about this card. It's so quick and simple, and it's really wow. All right, so I've got all my pieces. All right, so with the gold, you just need a piece that's going to go like here. And then we're going to piece in the rest of this. See, really, you just need like that. Now, I am going to go like from top to bottom because I want to have support all the way around. So I'm kind of using this like as if it were like foam adhesive to give it just a little bit of height because this is so thick. So this guy, I'm just using my Tombow glue for this. I could have done this with an adhesive sheet, but here's the thing, like those adhesive sheets don't always like to stick to glitter. So the Tombow is better. All right, and you want to go around the die, not on the paper, because obviously you don't want it to be poking through. We just need to, you don't need to get like in between all these little things. We do need to get the points though, so that they stick. All right, that should be good. All right, so I'm just going to take this piece. Just get it on one side, so I'm covering up all of the die cut area. And then I'm just going to match it up here. I pre-cut all these pieces so that I knew they would fit. Oh, and then I can... piece there. All right. So if you're having problems with things kind of shifting around a little bit, you can always just add a little piece of washi tape on the back to kind of keep those guys together. It just needs to dry for a second. If you're having problems with it, or if you want to go and do something else in the meantime, you can always grab like a big block and just put it on the top, and then you can be hands-free. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop that over to the side. And then while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to take our little birds and I'm going to glue them together, but only in the center here. So just in the body area. Because I want the feathers to be free. All right, so the two vellum pieces and then this guy here. Yeah, Cindy, so that's why I made sure I put the glue around the edges and tried to keep it away from all the little itty bitty areas. All right, so the center here is glued together. And now I can kind of ruffle up his feathers to give him some motion. This is a fun die because it allows you to do this. All the little feathers are free. There. So now the bird has some dimension. You could put different colors under there. Be really cool. So Cindy wants to know, what did I say about washi tape? So when you're piecing your bits together, if you need to add a piece of washi tape on the back here just to kind of hold them, that is helpful. Okay, so there we go. It's had enough time to dry. And that looks really great. All right, so now this just needs to get adhered to my card base, like so. Actually, and that piece of washi or tape or whatever doesn't even need to come off. and just frame it in. And there you go. All right, so then our bird is going to go right in the middle. You could pop it up too if you wanted to add just a little bit of foam strip on the back, which we can do. Let's do that. And then I've got my soar sentiment. So you see it's stuck inside, which is perfectly fine. So when that happens, I just pop out all the little extra middle pieces that I don't need. There we go. Oops, forgetting the R. And then I can place that down. And if I poke through the little release holes here, it's supposed to leave the die in place, and it did not. It just said no. It's okay. All right, so let's pop. I have all sorts of different kinds of foam adhesives. Some of them are these hexagon ones from days gone by with Stampin' Up. I'm almost through with them. But this one really just needs one little foamy in the center. If you want to give it some extra, just pop that right in the middle. Let's see how that works in there. Beautiful. All right, and then we can just add some extra gems, again, using my hard clear glue. Did I ever finish my story about this? We were talking about closed captions at the same time. Okay, so you want to go back a couple weeks, we were doing a little survey on different kinds of glue. I had been using the fine tip glue from Imagine Crafts, but you can't find it everywhere. So I tried a couple of different brands, and these are the two that I really like. So Spellbinder's Glaze and Glue, it comes in a different bottle, so I put it into this bottle with the fine tip. And then the Judakins Diamond Glaze. And again, the Judakins also comes with a different kind of cap that it's not really super controlled. So I buy these fine tip caps. And if it fits on top of the container, great. Then I can have the fine controlled tip. If it does not fit, then I put it into a different container and end up with a nice controllable glue. So I like both of these because they dry hard and clear, and then you don't have to worry about like the gumminess. Like this dries gummy, all right, which is why you don't ever want it to have it like peeking out from something, because it'll be like sticky. This dries hard and clear, so if it oozes out from the side of a sequins, for example, then you won't ever have any problem with anything sticking to it. So that's why I like these glues for sequins and for gemstones and things like that. Okay, so for this one, again, I'm going to do just a simple formation, because putting down all those other ones does take some time, especially when you're trying to pick out different colors in a color mix. There we go. So again, you can just do a little trio. So when I do it, I like to do the very largest and the very smallest together, and then find a medium size one to put down in counterpoint, like so. So we can just do something very simple like this. All right, somebody had a question. I'm gonna have to cycle back and look for it. Asking about Cricut. I think you wanted to know if this was a Cricut project. It is not a Cricut project. We just use, yeah, Cindy, you asked, is this card a Cricut card? No, this was all dies. Everything on here is dies. These are all Altenew dies. And let me pull them out here as soon as I get my glue closed. That's the one thing about this, these kinds of tips, is that you want to make sure that you get them closed right away. And as I get older, it's harder to get the little needle into the space there. All right, let's see. Okay. So there we go. So a simple gemstones, or a little bit more complex if you want to go all the way around and kind of have them coming off the splashes. Either way works. They both look amazing. All right, so everything we did was dies today. We did this beautiful die, which is the Swirly Elements from Altenew. It will be available tomorrow. Let's see, and then we did the Soar die and the Feathered Friends. So the Soar die comes from this little stamp set. It comes with the bird as well. And then Feathered Friends. Everything is listed down below in the description. So the Feathered Friends, there's 3 of them. This one is obviously very large. It does fit across a card. So this is a really beautiful and versatile set. Here we go. All right, let's see. Okay, so the background, Cindy, go play the replay. It's super easy. I just used glitter cardstock and we covered the back of it. It was super easy to do. Yeah, so guys, normally I only do 1 card and we can go just a little bit slower. But I did do 2 cards today, so it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But here's the great thing. This is always available on my YouTube channel. So you can go back and watch the replay as many times as you want. In a few minutes, you'll be able to go over to my blog and grab the project PDF. It is step-by-step. It has pictures. I have PDFs for both of the cards today. They're separate, so make sure you grab both. And let's see, is this the right one? Yeah. So, you know, I've got tools out there for you to be able to recreate these always. And there it is. That's what I needed to do. I just needed to back it up. So there we go. So yeah, so definitely head over to the blog, grab the PDFs. This will be available on replay forever, for as long as my YouTube channel is alive. And if you're on my mailing list, you will get a reminder tomorrow in your email about the blog post where you can grab all that stuff. So, holy moly, people. I'm so glad that you all joined me today. It's so exciting to have new friends here on the channel. I'm here every Thursday, except for the 5th Thursday of the month. There is a 5th Thursday in March, which is when I take a break. But otherwise, I am here every Thursday. We are hitting almost 100 episodes. Wow, it's crazy. And I'm so glad to have you all here. Thanks for participating in the poll. We had 49% of you sent a card this week. I think that's fabulous. Keep sending your cards. People love to get them in the mail. If you were inspired by anything that you saw here today or anything on my channel, I always love to see what you create. Tag me on Instagram at Nicole Watts Creates. You can see it up there on the top. I'm always pointing the wrong way. There we go. You see it up there at the top? Nicole Watts Creates. Tag me there, and I would love to see how you're inspired by everything that I create on this channel and all the fun that we have here. If you're a member of the Technique Library, you can tag me at Nicole Watts Creates or at Bloom Crafters. That's our class area where the Technique Library is held. And yeah, I love to find you guys out there. I think that's enough for this week, don't you? So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderfully crafty weekend, and that you get some time to have some fun with these ideas and create. So I will see you guys in here next Thursday. And until then, happy crafting, guys.